I'm just gonna be getting ready for basically looking less like a fucking boy. I thought it was kind of a perfect opportunity to live out my dream doing a makeup video, but instead of actually doing a makeup video, because I'm not a makeup artist, I would basically just talk you through kind of what's been going on and all that kind of news. So if many of you probably follow me on Instagram, if you don't, I will put my @ here. Basically what has changed is actually rather exciting. I have decided to stop aiming to be a IFBB figure pro, and now all of my I don't really know how to explain it. Basically, I've decided to stop aiming for figure, and I am now starting my wellness journey. There are many reasons as to kind of why I have decided to go down this route. For me, as you can probably see, I'm not a really massive girly girl, but I'm also not a tomboy. I still really like being kind of feminine and just have that girly aspect for myself. And just the last couple of months, I've kind of had a think to myself, and I've kind of gone, do I see myself looking like this in the future? I look at myself and I think, do I in the future, when I wear normal clothes like a dress or like a pencil dress or anything like that, do I want to have big shoulders? Do I want to have this? Do I want to have that? And to be honest, it's been something that's been running through my mind for quite a while, especially on holiday. I think that's what hit me the most, is that I saw myself in a bikini and I really liked how I was looking. And every single time I kind of thought, oh, it's really hard to do your makeup and talk, so shout out to everyone who actually does it as a career. Especially, I thought to myself, gosh, like, do I want my upper to get to like as big as it needs to get? Like, how am I gonna look like in this bikini? How am I gonna look like in this dress? Like, I was so confident on that holiday, and I just really liked kind of how strong I looked and powerful I looked and how I still trained. But I also like the fact that I could switch things up and still be really feminine and not look kind of like really muscular from the upper. And that was kind of like the eureka moment for me, I think, mainly on holiday. And it really made me think of like what I need to really think about my goals here. It's one of those things where it's like, I respect every single category. Like, if that is the look that you want to go for and that's your definition of girly, that's your definition of feminine, and you really like that look, then you should go for the figure look or the physique look or bodybuilding look. Like, that is, it's so person dependent, and this is not me disrespecting any other category, saying anything above wellness is not feminine or anything like that, because it is. It's just what I want for myself and what my definition of self kind of confidence and my definition of femininity may be different to yours. Not just me kind of saying, well, I will always love every single category and I'll always respect every single category. It's more so for me, I think in the long term, I would be much happier with the physique that I could build with wellness. Another reason why I went to wellness too is because I am quite lower dominant anyway. I also hate training arms. That is another aspect, because genetically I do hold a little bit more and grow better on my lower half. Obviously we don't know how I will respond to the new training, but obviously that's something that time will tell. I feel like it's an unwritten rule. My goal is IFBB Pro, and when you are in bigger categories in terms of muscle, there's a lot more, especially in the pro leagues, there's a lot more drug use. And this was another thing that really kind of made me think, right, okay, I need to think about what I want. Again, we're leading back to the whole femininity part. And also, the one thing that I don't like is when people say I'm changing categories for my health, because if you genuinely cared about your health, you wouldn't put yourself through a competition prep, and you also probably wouldn't touch anabolics either. So it's one of those things where it's like, I do care for my health and I do have a limit. So it's like one of those things, I have a goal and I understand what potentially it could take to get that goal. But I do have a line, and I think that line would be seriously breached if I was to aim for IFBB Figure Pro and comparing it to wellness. Obviously this is all up in the air, because I don't know how I'm going to obviously respond to the new phase of me kind of wanting to be wellness. I may get to it and I may learn that wellness isn't my category because my lower just won't work with me. We've made this decision to give it a go. I was going to be taking a lot of time off anyway this off season, so it's a perfect time to kind of give it a trial. If it works, we continue with wellness. If not, it is back to the drawing board to figure out and really ask the questions, what I want from bodybuilding, what's realistic, is IFBB Pro realistic, all that kind of jazz. Another reason is because I just love the look. Like, I think it is such a perfect look. Like, your lower is strong, you know, you look strong, you still look like you train. You're off season, you know, like you have a big bump like all year round. And it's just like, I don't know, just every time I see a wellness girl, I'm like, wow, like you look so cool. And then I see them on stage and I'm like, wow, wow. I'm like, wow, like this just resonates with me. Like, I want to be like that on stage. I don't want to hit a lat spread and then quarter turn. Like, literally, it's like front pose, quarter turn. But with wellness, it's like the leg frequency. How often you have to train legs, like that scared me. And to be honest, I spoke to my coach Tom Hames, and he basically just said, like, it's not actually as bad as what people think, because currently right now I'm doing a 2 times per week frequency for lower, but that is with me training like every single muscle part. But what you'd essentially do, I'm still waiting to get my training back. I've just, obviously, as you've seen, sent my check-in. You basically train legs 3 times a week, sometimes 4, depending on obviously like what you need. And it's all very like muscle specific. So one day you'll be training quads, it'll be quad dominant. The next, just look at that, by the way. And then the next one will be like hamstrings, and the next one would be glutes, and then maybe you do like another like just like a pumpy session, I don't know. And then you train like upper if you need to. If your upper's already relatively developed, you probably don't, but I know I still need to train upper, and I enjoy training upper, so even just like a pump session. But Tom says you'll get to a point where you'll need to leave reps in reserve, most likely, because the upper is very much bikini like, and very like small, not small, I mean just like narrow, with like big shoulders, so I don't want to be opening my lats out too much in the poses and all that kind of stuff. So it would be mainly like shoulders and stuff. That was the thing that scared me, but now it doesn't really scare me as much because I do really like training legs. It's just more so like I was just scared I was going to be killing myself off like 3 to 4 times a week, and we all know how leg day kind of affects us. But yes, that is my story as to why I have decided to change categories from figure to wellness. And I'm going to show you the finished product.